Okay, so I don't know if you all know, but my business began with my husband. My husband actually signed on. He was the first brand partner. Okay. And when I saw what he was doing, I did not think this business was for me at all. I didn't think it could work for me, honestly. My background is in research. I worked as a researcher in genetics. Yes, I had no idea that my life would lead this way. So, how it started, my son became sick. My son became sick and started developing eczema all over his body and started developing what I recognize as Crohn's and having bowel movements 8 times a day. I would bring him to every specialist everywhere, and no one had an answer for me. We did every testing. I did everything I knew possible. I was anti medication, but they told me this is all that you can do. And when the doctors tell you as a mama, this is the only thing you can do is to give these drugs to your kids, you do it because you don't want to see them in pain anymore, right? So I would slap cortisone all over my son, hoping it would help him, and nothing worked. So you know what we would do, because this was the business for my husband. Every year we would go to the convention, and now we are in Texas at the Purium convention. I wanted nothing to do with Purium, but I was hearing everything he was telling me. And then he tells me, he's like, that's the year that Biomedic was launched. And he tells me, he's like, okay, this glyphosate that's going around, it sounds like something that Lucho, our son, might have. And I'm like, what? Glyphosate? I am a researcher. I had never heard of this. I had no idea that your body can change through dietary changes. And glyphosate, I was convinced this was all made up. And then when I saw this product, Biomedic, I looked at the ingredients and I'm like, okay, these are all clean ingredients. And you're telling me this can help him? Okay, what do I have to lose? Right? I am putting a cortisone cream all over him and nothing is working. And we are all suffering as a family. So back then, this is when Biomedic was just launched. So it was in the capsule. So I was opening the capsule and sprinkling it all over his tofu scramble. Amy, within 3 days, 3 days, my son became, he was brought back to me. There was no more tears. The eczema was completely gone. He had no more pains. It was a miracle. I never knew there was something. I always knew there was something I was missing, but I didn't know what. And Purium was that piece of the puzzle that was missing in my life. And it was right under my nose. Like, thank God my husband was already in this and it was brought to my attention. So from that moment, I was all in. From being in the sick care, now I'm being part of the real healthcare, finally. And what I got to notice is that all of glyphosate products are all directly marketed to our children. And that enraged me. As you said, I'm part of the Council of the Million Mom Movement. The more I dove in to see what glyphosate is, and us moms, we had no idea. No one ever spoke about this. This was so undervalued. Whenever I would tell someone about Cheerios, they had no idea. We were taught that it was a health food. I mean, you have the heart on it. It's supposed to help us, right? But there's so much that we don't know. And it's up to us as moms to start to bring this awareness to each other. And I'm so, so happy that now we are in COVID, which means we can't go anywhere, right? And in Montreal, we're actually in code red. We're in code red, like lockdown. So my kids are at home. So I have the ability to homeschool my kids. Thank God. And this has brought me so much income. Now I'm part of something that's bigger than myself. I'm part of this mission to help people into what's real healthcare. You know how Hippocrates started. He started with aloe. He didn't start with all these pharmaceutical drugs. And this is aligned completely with my mission of life. And when I saw that the packaging even is all biodegradable, and we know plastics is our huge hormonal disruptor, Purium is bigger than supplements. This is a mission-based company, and I'm so proud to be aligned with it. It's helped me so much with my family. Now I've left the lab. This is what I do full time. I help my kids. I can spend time with them. I can homeschool them. I'm there for all the activities, which has been amazing. And I tell people all the time, whenever I encounter moms, this is funny. I encounter moms that are like, oh, my child is going to med school. I look at them and I'm like, oh no. Um, are you sure? Do you really want to be part of the sick industry? You know, because the medical industry is all backed by pharmaceuticals. So I'm like, well, you know, you can reverse everything through real nutrition and food, because I've experienced it, and I've experienced it with my family. And I educate my family on all of this every single day. So when people see my kids and they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, how do I do what? It's not a magic pill, it's nutrition. Once they have the highest amount of nutrition in their life, they're able to focus, they're able to perform at a level that I couldn't even imagine. I wish I had this nutrition as a child. Lean in. There's no better time than now. I have all of my diamond plaques, and I'm telling you, Amy, they mean more to me than all of my university degrees. Okay. They're close to my heart. So anyone who's interested, this is a mission, and a mission we building together.